Ben 10 mom say this. Thank you, my guy, for not leaving my son. You cover him. Red heart emoji. Well, good for her, because he ain't gonna be able to walk no more, according to rumors. Ben 10 paralyzed. They didn't make it public yet. I'm gonna catch your name and pick out when I post this. Okay, bro, please. So, LOL. I don't want to be in none of that BR mess.
Ben 10 is paralyzed, and now J. Prince Jr. might be staring at real consequences over it. The son of one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop could be facing serious legal heat, all because someone who stepped up for him is now stuck in a hospital bed, unable to move his legs. This all went down April 8th in Houston, inside a spot called Confessions. Allstar Jr. was just trying to leave the building when everything flipped upside down fast. Word is J. Prince Jr. found out he was there, made a call, and quickly got his people together, sending them straight to that elevator. Ben 10 pulled up out of loyalty, and that decision changed everything. Shots rang out and he was hit multiple times. Now he can't walk and the situation is getting heavy real quick. J. Prince Jr. didn't pull the trigger himself, but somehow he might still be the one ending up in cuffs. So what really happened inside that restaurant? Who was involved and how did it spiral like this? To really understand this, you gotta go back and look at the bigger picture. A lot of people hear these names but don't fully grasp the weight behind them. So here's the breakdown. First up, J. Prince Jr. If you know anything about Houston rap politics, then you already know the Prince family is not to be taken lightly. His father, James Prince Sr., built Rap-A-Lot Records from nothing into a powerhouse. We're talking about the label that brought the world the Ghetto Boys, Scarface, and helped launch some of the biggest names in Southern hip-hop. This is deep-rooted influence with real power behind it. The Prince name in Houston carries serious generational weight. This goes way deeper than music. This isn't just industry talk. This family comes with real street credibility, tight connections, and a reputation that stretches far beyond rap.
3200 Kirby Drive at the Confessions nightclub, just behind me upstairs. It's a bar slash restaurant type location. Tonight there was probably, I don't know, 20, 30 people in there and several servers and everything. Got some pretty good video. We got 2 victims on the scene right now. This is a shooting. We got 2 victims.
J. Prince Jr., also known as James Prince Jr., has been moving under that shadow while trying to build his own name, but things haven't been smooth at all. Here's the issue, keeping it real. His name keeps popping up in situations that have nothing to do with music. People have seen reports about him getting pulled over in Miami, being linked to situations with finesse 2 times, and now this. His name is tied to one of the most serious incidents of 2026, and this time, it's not just talk online. There are cameras, witnesses, and a man in a hospital bed who may never walk again. That changes everything in a major way. Now let's talk about NBA Ben 10. Real name Ben Anthony Fields. He's not just some random person, he's closely connected to NBA YoungBoy and part of the Never Broke Again camp. If you know anything about that circle, you know it runs deep, stays loyal, and doesn't fold under pressure. Ben 10 has been around for years, standing solid with that crew, and people in that scene know his name and respect it. That's what makes this situation hit even harder. This wasn't some sleuthy random incident involving someone unknown. This was a recognized figure who came to Houston with his people and somehow ended up caught in a situation that, honestly, should have never pulled him in like this at all. Now we've got Allstar Jr., real name Jeremy Ford, born February 6, 1994, straight out of Detroit, Michigan. He's from Joy Road on the west side before moving over east, and he came up with the Detroit collective All-Stars Ball, running alongside names like T Grizzly, All-Star Lee, and All-Star Poe.
Let's see, one's been shot multiple times in the torso, probably in his late 20s. Another one's been shot in the extremities, in the lower extremities, and also all throughout his arms and everything several times. He's probably in his mid-20s. They're both transported to local hospitals right now, and they're both in very critical condition. So my name is Lieutenant R. Wilkins, Willkens.
This isn't someone playing around. This is a Detroit street rapper with real background, real stories, and real pressure behind him. He's not chasing attention or trying to act tough for cameras. He built his name in one of the grittiest rap cities in the country, dropped mixtapes, and earned his respect the hard way. And on April 8, 2026, he showed he wasn't backing down from anything. That night, the scene was set. Confessions Restaurant, 3200 block of Kirby Drive in Houston, around 11:30 p.m. Late night, tense energy, and all the right people in the wrong place. Now that you know the key players, here's where everything takes a wild turn. Because this didn't just start at the restaurant, it goes back further, and the reason behind it has people talking heavy. Word going around with multiple sources pointing in the same direction is that this whole situation traces back to a woman, specifically Allstar Jr.'s child's mother. Now, according to what's being said, J. Prince Jr. allegedly got involved with her, and that alone already had things heated. But it doesn't stop there. There are also claims being spread that he allegedly had a situation involving Allstar Jr.'s child. That part is still unconfirmed, and it's important to treat it as alleged, but that's what's being talked about, and many are pointing to that as the spark that set everything off. So you already know, when street politics mix with personal disrespect, especially when a child gets mentioned, things don't stay online. This isn't something that gets handled in messages or comments. Situations like that escalate fast, and once it spills into real life, it can get out of control quick. Here's how it played out. Allstar Jr. ends up in Houston. Whether it was for music or something else, he was in J. Prince Jr.'s city, and somehow those two worlds collided at the worst possible moment. Reports say that once J. Prince Jr. got word that Allstar Jr. was inside Confessions that night, a call went out. Things started moving fast. He allegedly reached out and began pulling people together, getting a group ready to slide to that location. And who shows up with that kind of pressure? Ben 10, another NBA YoungBoy affiliate, along with members tied to mob ties. Now stop and think about how serious that sounds. You've got a powerful Houston name calling in backup because a Detroit rapper, someone already tied to a personal situation, is in the same building. That's not random, that's calculated movement. And here's the part that really stands out. Allstar Jr. was reportedly trying to leave. He wasn't looking for trouble at that moment. He was heading out when everything closed in on him near the elevators. Multiple people rushed him, chaos breaking out all at once. Reports say someone tried to snatch his chains. Others were swinging chairs, and it turned into a full-on ambush scene, wild and out of control. But even in the middle of all that madness, Allstar Jr. didn't fold. He managed to hold his ground while everything around him was going crazy, and that moment right there pushed the situation even closer to the edge. Now pause for a second and really picture this scene. One man getting swarmed inside a restaurant, surrounded by a whole group. He's knocked to the ground, people swinging, chairs flying everywhere. It looked like it was about to be a one-sided beatdown for real. But then, something happened that flipped everything upside down in an instant. Right in the middle of that chaos, a weapon dropped to the ground. Reports say someone from Ben 10's side was carrying, and during the fight, it slipped out and dropped right there. Allstar Jr., who reportedly didn't even have a weapon on him that night, grabbed it, and that moment changed everything fast. Then it went off. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that, the entire situation flipped. What looked like one man getting overwhelmed suddenly turned into something way more serious. At about 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, Houston police received reports of shots being fired at Confessions on Kirby Drive, and when they arrived, the scene was complete chaos. Officers found chaos waiting for them. 2 people had been shot. Lieutenant R. Wilkins from the Houston Police Department spoke out and explained what they saw. One victim hit multiple times in the torso, the other struck across the lower body, legs, and arms, multiple wounds all over. This wasn't minor, this was serious damage that changed lives in seconds, and just like that, the street started talking immediately. Rumors, stories, and different angles started spreading fast, with everybody trying to piece together exactly how things went so wrong that night. Within hours of the incident, reports started spreading quickly that NBA Ben 10 was one of the people injured, and the updates coming in sounded very serious. This wasn't just a minor injury situation. People were saying ICU, critical condition, intensive care, the kind of reports that instantly raise alarms. But then it got even heavier. According to multiple sources, this is where the paralysis talk started gaining attention. Reports claim Ben 10 suffered injuries that could affect him for life. There's strong talk that he may not be able to walk again. Now, to be clear, that has not been officially confirmed by his family or his team, so it remains unverified. But people close to the situation have been speaking, and the lack of updates is raising questions everywhere, and that silence is loud. No hospital photos, no quick "I'm good" message, nothing from his page or his immediate circle. In situations like this, that kind of quiet has people reading between the lines and assuming the worst. Now, OG Monique, the mother of NBA YoungBoy affiliate OG33, did step in and say Ben 10 is alert, and also shut down rumors claiming he had passed. That part matters, he is alive. But let's be real, alert doesn't mean he's okay. Alert doesn't mean he's walking out of that hospital anytime soon. That difference right there is huge. and people are definitely paying attention to it. Meanwhile, Allstar Jr. walked out of that building. He got up, stayed on his feet, and made it out. And here's what a lot of people are missing in all the noise. What he did is being viewed under the law as self-defense. The man was reportedly being jumped, outnumbered, and attacked. On top of that, there were claims of people trying to take his chains. He didn't bring a weapon into that moment. He picked one up off the ground and reacted in the middle of chaos. Houston police backed that narrative up almost immediately. As of now, there have been no arrests and no charges filed against Allstar Jr. That right there has people talking heavy, because situations like this don't usually move that way unless there's clear evidence pointing one direction. Now this is where everything starts connecting, and this part goes deeper than what it looks like on the surface. A lot of people keep focusing on the idea of a chain robbery, but that's just the surface story. That's what it looks like at first glance, something random and sudden. But when you line up everything leading up to that night, the situation involving Allstar Jr.'s child's mother, the alleged personal issues, the reports of prior tension, and then you see people being called to that exact location, it starts to look a lot more intentional. That's why some are saying this wasn't just about jewelry or a quick grab, it was about sending a message. And according to multiple accounts being shared online, including voices close to the situation, there are claims that J. Prince Jr. may have played a central role in setting things in motion. Now that part is still being discussed and has not been officially confirmed, but it's a claim that continues to spread and keeps the situation under intense attention. Reports say it was J. Prince Jr. who made the call that night. Allstar Jr. was already on his way out, about to leave, when someone in J. Prince Jr.'s circle allegedly reached out and let him know he was inside confessions. That moment right there is what people are pointing to as the turning point. That call allegedly brought everything into motion, the crew showing up, the confrontation building, and Ben 10 ending up right there near those elevators, and from there, everything spiraled into violence, with shots fired and lives changed in seconds. Now here's the legal side of this, and this is where things get serious. If someone organizes a group, calls people to a location, and coordinates a confrontation that turns violent, the law doesn't just look at who pulled the trigger. There are concepts like conspiracy and felony-related charges that can come into play depending on what investigators find. So if authorities believe that someone played a key role in setting things up or directing others, that alone can bring major legal consequences. And that's why people are watching this situation closely, because it's not just about what happened in that moment, it's about what led up to it. Looking at it another way, if Ben 10's condition had taken a worse turn, the legal pressure in this situation could become even more intense. As of now, he remains in critical condition, and that alone keeps everything under a spotlight. When footage started circulating online showing J. Prince Jr. in the background at the scene, it sent the internet into a frenzy. For many people, that visual added another layer, confirming he was present that night and making the situation even more serious in the public eye. Now, when you combine all of that, the reported presence at the scene, the alleged phone call, the possible motive tied to the situation involving Allstar Jr.'s child's mother, and the group that showed up, you start to see a bigger picture forming, and that's exactly the kind of picture investigators are going to examine closely. Houston police have already confirmed the case is active and ongoing. No official suspects have been named publicly yet, but one thing everybody is watching is that security footage from inside confessions. That video is expected to show exactly how everything unfolded. No spin, no outside opinions, just what really happened in real time. And as people say, the tape don't lie. Now online, people have been arguing back and forth about whether Allstar Jr. or his side deserved what happened. Some are pointing fingers in every direction. And to be fair, reports suggest there was tension on multiple sides that night. There are even claims about a possible robbery attempt connected to J. Prince Jr. that may have added fuel to the situation. But here's what really matters when it comes down to it. From a legal standpoint, the key issue is who initiated the violence at that moment. Allstar Jr. is being described as someone who reacted while being physically confronted and attacked. That distinction right there could shape everything that comes next in court. The aftermath of what went down at Confessions on April 8th sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world immediately, and those effects are still spreading. One major piece of this is the mob ties movement. J. Prince Jr. has spent years building that name, that brand, and that network, and now all eyes are on how this situation could impact everything connected to it. A lot of artists and personalities in Houston have aligned themselves with that mob ties name and movement. It's been seen as power, connection, and influence, but after this incident, people are starting to ask real questions. How many situations have gone left just from being close to J. Prince Jr.? That's what people online keep bringing up. And the conversations are getting louder. Some are pointing out that this isn't the first time his name has been mentioned around serious situations. For example, during the 2022 Houston incident involving Migos member Takeoff, J. Prince Jr. was reportedly present in the area, although he was not charged in that case. Still, when the same name keeps coming up near major events, people begin to pay closer attention. That's why you're seeing more discussion now about patterns and accountability. People aren't just brushing things off as coincidence anymore. They're looking at the bigger picture and asking how all these moments connect. At the same time, this situation puts NBA YoungBoy's camp in a complicated spot. There has already been known tension between YoungBoy and J. Prince in the past, so the fact that Ben 10, someone closely tied to YoungBoy, was reportedly at a location connected to J. Prince Jr.'s call adds another layer to everything. That detail hasn't gone unnoticed either. People following closely are picking up on that overlap, and it's making the situation feel even more complex and charged than it already was. Why was someone from NBA YoungBoy's inner circle even linked up with J. Prince Jr. like that? That question is everywhere right now, and there's no clear answer. It's one of those details that keeps people talking because it doesn't line up cleanly with what people thought they knew about those camps. Then you've got Allstar Jr.'s position in all this. A man from Detroit comes to Houston and ends up walking out while others didn't. That kind of story spreads fast. In the streets, people already know how that narrative gets told, but legally, he's not completely in the clear just yet. Even in self-defense cases, there can still be investigations, questioning, and even civil issues that come up later. This isn't over for him, not by a long shot, and his legal team is going to have to stay sharp through all of this. And then there's Ben 10's family, because beyond all the talk, the politics, and the online debates, there's a real person in a hospital right now. Ben Anthony Fields, a man with people who care about him deeply. If the reports about his condition turn out to be true, then his life has been changed in a major way forever. And that's the part that hits the hardest, because from what's being said, he wasn't the one who started any of this. He allegedly showed up in support, answered a call, and ended up caught in something that went way too far. Now he's the one dealing with the most serious consequences. That reality should make anyone stop and think, because this situation isn't just about J. Prince Jr. or NBA, Ben 10, it's about power, loyalty, and how fast things can spiral when those two collide in real life. And here's the reality, the hip-hop world has always lived on that thin line between entertainment and real street culture. Most artists and industry figures know how to move carefully, staying on the edge without letting things spill into real-life tragedy. But when someone, no matter their name or connections, allegedly uses their position to influence street situations, that's when everything starts falling apart fast. That's when the music stops meaning anything. That's when real-life consequences step in, and people end up hurt or dealing with damage that can't be undone. Situations like this go way beyond lyrics and image. They hit real people in real ways. J. Prince Jr. is the son of a legend, no doubt about that. But having that kind of name doesn't come with a free pass to be tied to situations that lead to serious harm. The Prince name holds major weight in Houston, and with that comes expectations and responsibility. And right now, based on everything being reported and discussed, it's looking like that responsibility may not have been handled the way it should have been on the night of April 8th. The real question the community keeps coming back to is simple, but heavy. At what point do people stop making excuses for those in power, especially when those same people, directly or indirectly, are tied to situations that leave loyal individuals hurt or dealing with life-changing consequences? Ben 10 was loyal. He showed up when he was called, stood on that, and now he's the one in a hospital bed, reportedly fighting not just for recovery, but possibly for his ability to walk again. That's a hard reality to ignore no matter how people try to spin it. And then there's J. Prince Jr. He was in that building. He's been seen in footage, and if investigators and prosecutors move forward, there are going to be serious questions that need real answers. Because here's the truth, cameras don't take sides. Cameras don't care about affiliations, reputations, or family names. They don't care who built what or who runs what. They just capture what happened moment by moment. and whatever those cameras recorded inside Confessions on Kirby Drive could end up deciding how this whole situation plays out. That footage could be the key piece that shapes everything moving forward. Now, if Ben 10 recovers, and people are definitely hoping he does, because nobody deserves to be left in that kind of condition, then the legal outcome could look very different, and depending on how things unfold, J. Prince Jr. could avoid the most serious level of legal trouble. But even if Ben 10 pulls through, this situation is far from over. Civil lawsuits could be coming, investigations into possible conspiracy could heat up, and a grand jury could start asking serious questions. The legal side of this story is just getting started, and it's already looking complicated. And if things take a worse turn, if Ben 10 doesn't make it out of that ICU, then everything changes completely. At that point, the legal stakes go to a whole different level. J. Prince Jr. would need the strongest defense possible, because no legacy, no reputation, and no family name can shield someone if the evidence directly connects them to a situation like that. No exaggeration, this is one of those moments where real life is moving faster than the internet can even process. The investigation is active, the footage exists, and people are already forming their opinions. Now it's just a matter of whether the legal system catches up to everything that's already being talked about. So stay tapped in, because this story is still unfolding in real time. If anything drops, arrests, charges, updates on Ben 10, you already know it's going to get covered and broken down as it happens. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment with your thoughts on this situation. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, because this one right here is far from over.